Hi all, and welcome to another Kings of War podcast on the UK Masters. This one I'm joined by the UK's Kings of War proverbial bridesmaid, Alan Thompson.
Hello, Walter. Thank you for having me.
You'll be quite looking forward to this one then. This is a chance for you to maybe stamp some authority and get yourself out of Dan's shadow.
Oh no, definitely. I've definitely had enough of being second best. It seems to be a running thing at the moment. So that's also why I've changed my list. Uh,
Yeah, so for first thing really here, you've abandoned the undead that's kind of got you there and you've switched, I believe this is an old army you used to kind of play with, the Twilight Kin.
yes, yes. No, I felt that I'd beat the undead horse to death, so to speak. So I've gone back to my Twilight Kin, and Dan's kind of one of the reasons because of this, because we've had two games. One I've lost, and the other I've won. But I felt Dan knows exactly how I play his list, so I've got to switch it up.
So this is that won't hurt Dan's ego in the slightest to know you change your list just for him.
No, no, because he knows exactly how I play. My undead list is very much I just punch a hole through the center and keep everything else tight and use surge, and he knows that too well. So I've got to change.
So let's have a quick talk through this then. So first of all, we've got some actual forces of nature allies. So a horde of elementals, nice anvil.
Yeah, yeah. No, these very much just to anchor my flanks down and defense six. They're not going anywhere. Objective carriers and the surge is always nice. So I've tried to combine the best bits from undead, but mass out on the shooting because shooting's awesome.
Yeah, so basically, actually looking at your nature, you just basically got the elemental horde, the greater earth elemental, and the druid. So do they just sit in one flank, or they kind of just split them?
Um, Yeah, that's pretty much what we're probably going to sit on either flank or directly opposite an objective, and sit there. And if something charges one of my big hordes, I don't really have to be careful with the angles because Surge is great. The Druid's just going to sit behind the greater elemental, high four. He's not going to get hurt. It's going to be, yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Nice little tight. Actually, it's a nice little tight ally unit, that one. You could plug that in almost any army to be useful.
Yeah, no, it's works very well with very soft and squishy elves.
And then on to soft and squishy elves. So we start off with, dear God, I don't know if I thought it was one. I just noticed there it's two crossbow hordes, one with the keen eye and one with
Yep,
the hearts you can chant.
yep. No, the idea behind well, just slightly moving further down, I've got a horde of dark side chariots with the blessing of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
The idea behind this is I think I actually outshoot any of the armies in the Masters.
Four,
I'm
two,
pretty sure that's right.
58 shots. Yeah,
Yeah,
with vicious.
so yeah, that's not including the lightning bolt
Mm-hmm.
and the 20 fireballs from the dark elf. What are they called? Sorcerers, the Dark Elf Abyssal Sorceresses. So everybody's going to have to come to me, and I'm trying to dictate the pace of the battle of that, especially if I get first turn. Against infantry armies, I don't think I'm going to have any problems, so I'm going to be laughing at Darren if I get him.
And yeah, so just look at the rest of the list then, you suppose. Two gargoyles are there for chaff, really, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, they're for chaff, blocking, like, I think they're actually really important to my list. I
Yeah.
don't want stuff coming right up to me and being like in my face, but I can just shove those in there, deal with a unit next to them, shoot that off, and deal with the other unit the next turn. So that's what I'll be doing with that.
The chariots, now that's a bit of an unusual one because I think it's kind of well accepted in Kings of War that chariots just aren't quite as powerful as the other units. But you went with the horde there. What was the logic there?
Well, I wanted another unit of shooting stuff, and I didn't want to take another horde of crossbowmen. And the frontage, they actually have a quite well. The frontage is 150 mil for the chariots, and it's 200 for the crossbows. So they kick out a very similar amount of shots, but on a smaller frontage. And the only problem is they're long, so they're more for shooting than anything else, which is probably not how people think they should be used, but it's how I'm going to be using them.
But they
And
still give you that
under
counter
charge.
charge, I suppose, if someone gets a
Yes,
bit too close.
yeah, and actually not that bad in close combat because if I'm hitting on fours, blessing of the gods. So I've got elite and vicious, and I can just throw a bane chant on them. So really, they're not too shabby in close combat.
Hmm. Yeah, not too bad as well. Then we come to the good old Lord of the Dragon with a
Oh yeah,
lightning bolt.
yeah. If you don't take a dragon or something similar. I think you're absolutely crazy in this kind of meta. So yeah, it's just something you have to take. I don't really know what else to say about that.
Yeah, no, it's just large flying things. I think are pretty much standard if you can get one. Then we've got
Yeah,
the High Priestess of the Abyss.
yeah, no,
Two High Priestess
what
of the Abyss. Sorry.
two? Yes, two. They're just gonna sit behind and Bane chant, and Meridian's Fireheart Amulet is quite useful as well. So I can jump out, throw a fireball, and Bane chant. That's always nice. Yeah.
I would ask you to sort of give us a lowdown on how this complicated army will work that you've created here and what the tricks are and stuff. But I think we could probably a 5-year-old could work out how this one's going to go. Do you feel quite dirty? Do you feel ashamed at all about this one?
Not as ashamed as Josh Fletcher should be for taking triple vamp and a vamp on dragon. So I'm not quite at that level.
Yeah, well, you see how it seems like a good counter to your kind of list.
Oh no, yeah. I'm sure you're going to move on to who you think's going to do well at the tournament. Josh Fletcher is one of the lists that I'm definitely not looking forward to. I think he can do very well. I haven't had the pleasure of playing him yet, but I think he'll do very well.
So talking of that, then, who's your favourite to win? Do you think?
I'd like to say me, but I can't.
Well, you
say
can.
that.
Dan said himself.
Nah,
No, you want to say you, so let's put it this way.
I do want to say me, but also, speaking of Dan, he said that his army is anti-shooter, but I've built my army to beat his army. I kept his army very much in mind because he was saying he's going to take Undead, but I was like, no, you're not. You're taking Herd.
He was going to take Undead. No, he genuinely, in his defence, he was pretty close to taking Undead, and then I spent quite a while ripping into him, saying you really should take the Herd. That's the army that got you there. So, sorry, Dan, if I've set you up for a trap here. Because, I was looking at your list, and after I'd seen your list, you sent yours before Christmas, and Dan had been sort of talking about lists, and I'd been refusing to talk about it with him because I'd seen your list. And he'd said to me, as he said to you, his one will be fine against shooting lists. Now I was thinking, well, I've seen Alan's, and I fancy his chances of shooting off quite a large chunk of your army before you get across the table. So if not you to win, then who would you bet on?
Let's just have a quick look at the. I've said Josh Fletcher. I've actually had a quick look at Paul Fox's list. I think that'd be very interesting.
Because that's a strange one, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a strange. I'm very interested to see. And again, I didn't play him at Clash of Kings. I think I've played out of the 16 people in this tournament. I've played 12 of them, and so I haven't played. There's Paul Fox, Josh, Matt, and that's it, isn't it? Is that it? Yeah, they're the ones I've not played. So I haven't played like 3 or 4 of them. But I'm very interested to see how that list, because it's got all the special characters. Well of Souls, I've never seen that in action. And also 2 hordes of Torture Souls of flying will be a pain for me, especially the Hellhounds. But going back to Josh, he's definitely the person I'm most afraid of, because I have this haunting nightmare of him just running a vampire into each of my hordes and just bashing away and being like, well, there's just no point me rolling my dice. I've got 20 attacks, I hit on 5s, and then you just life leech 2 back next turn. Just pointless.
Yeah.
Dan did that to me in Clash of Kings 2015. So I need to avoid that at all costs, but I bet I'll end up playing him because that's just the way it goes, isn't it?
Well, if you want to win, you're probably going to have to account for the fact you're very likely to have to play Dan at some point, unless he really drops
I'm very
the
looking
pitch.
forward to playing Dan. He's been saying how his list is anti-shooter, but I'm very confident, especially if I get first turn against him. So some smack talk there for him.
But you're feeling pretty confident then against most of the other lists out there?
Yeah, very confident. I haven't played any goblins, and there's a lot of single units, and that's not great for my mass hordes because they like picking on massive hordes and just ripping them to shreds in one turn. But if I have to split my fire into like tiny little units, wasting chaff, that's not really what my list's about. But no, I'm fairly confident against all the other lists. There's like those 3 that I'm like meh, but yeah. The
Fair
people.
enough.
I'm just reading the Daz, the People's Champion. That's how he submitted his list.
You should be
He
used to
sold
that by
himself
now.
direct.
Don't feed his ego. Don't feed his ego.
No, no. I mean, like, I don't. He'll be shot off the table if he plays me. Surely, surely. Like, he doesn't have any massive flyers. He's just got the tricks of a trade, the lightning bolts, the doom wheels. Not they're not doom wheels in this game, are they? But
No.
no, they're not. But no, I'm fairly confident. Apart from those three lists, to be honest. And I played most of the people as well. So yeah,
Well, it'll be interesting to see how you get on anyway, and see if you come through and finally sort of get that one to shut Dan
no,
up.
I do need to shut down. He's taken two. He took Clash of Kings from me last year, maybe like 11-9, and he made me come second at Slaughter at Sanctuary, despite me actually beating him in that tournament. So I need to stamp some authority on this before it gets out of control.
Well, all the best, Alan, and thanks very much for coming along. Good luck for
I
you.
know, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Hope you all enjoyed that one. There'll be a few more to come, hopefully, in the coming days. Like, share, whatever. Comment if you like. Feel free to rip into Daz in the comments. That's also welcome. Catch you later. Bye.